Hello guys, welcome back to Python tutorial. In today's lesson, we are going to look at the different types of data types that we have in Python. And we need to remember that in programming, data types are really important. And specifically in Python, the variables can store data of different types, and different types can do different things. For example, we have these categories. Category 1, we have the text type. Category 2, we have numeric type. Category 3, sequence type. 3, we have the mapping. 5, site type. 6, balloon type. 7, binary type. And 8, we have the none type. What you need to remember on this one is that each of the category will play different roles in the data storing. For example, if you look at, let's start with the first case, the text type. For example, let's have, we will do example on each of the 5 cases, not the 5 cases, but the 8 cases. So we have text. We have the text. For the text, we have the string. We have the string. Okay, let me write the comment. We have the string, which is abbreviated as str. Okay, for example, if you want to write or to store a data in form of a string, this is how you execute it. For example, we have x, okay, x equals sign. We have the string. Then we can have open the brackets. Then we have hello Lana, how are you? Okay, so let's try to print. You print x. Okay, then we run our code. So you can see that we have successfully written our, okay, maybe we can have this as a capital letter. Okay, let's try to run. So you can see that we have successfully run our code. So that is how we write codes on in the form of a string. Okay, let's move to number 2. Number 2, we have Python numbers, or the Python type. For the Python type, we have 3. We have 3 of them. Number 1, we have the int. 2, we have the float. And 3, we have the complex. Okay, let's start with the first one. For the first one, which is int, for the ints stand for the integer. So this one will stand for the integer. And it's supposed to be a whole number, a positive or a negative without a decimal point of unlimited length. So the most important part is for the integer, it is supposed to be a positive whole number, whether negative or positive, without, the keyword is without a decimal point. And this is how we execute it. For example, we have example y is equal to 10, print So you print y, but we need to make a correction on this. Supposed to be int for integers, then brackets, then we run our code. So the most important part is that for the integer, it is also have any point. Okay, let's move to the next part. As you can see, we have executed our code correctly. This is the answer. So the next part we have the hash float. For the hash float, we have w is equal to floats brackets 27.99. Therefore, you need now to print w. So what you need to remember on the case of float is that a float is a number or a positive or negative which contain one or more decimal place. So the difference between the two cases is that for the integer it does not have any point, but for the float it has a point as well. So you can see that we have successfully. Okay, now let's move to the next part, which is the complex. So a complex. So we have a complex. A complex is a number written with another with the j or k, an imaginary part. For example, if you want to write this one, we have x is equal to complex j. Therefore, you print the x. You can print type x. Also, the others we are supposed to have then you run your code. Okay, it will bring some mistake, so let's correct this one. What is the type of data that we have? W. And for this one, for the complex, it will supposed to print the x. Then you run your code. Let me see what I have. So we have for the integer, float, and lastly complex. So we have just covered the three types of data that we have. That is int, float, comma. So next we have Python casting, and Python casting. This is whereby you will find that sometime when you want to specify a type on to a variable, this can only be done by casting. Therefore, Python is an object-oriented language, and in such, it uses classes to define data types, including its primitive types. Casting in Python is therefore, it's correct this one is therefore done using the constructor function. That is, we have, sorry for this. So we have number one, the int, and two, we have the int float. We have a float, and lastly, we have the string. Now for this one, for the first one, for the int, construct an integer number from an integer literal, a float literal. This is by removing all the decimal, or a string literal, providing the string represent a whole number. For example, let's have y is equal to an int. Then we give an example number like 5x is equal to int a number like 4.8, and lastly z we have an int number like 7. Okay, so let's try to, so we print y, print x, and you print z. Okay, let's try to run our code. Okay, so you will find that if the casting is on integers, it will remove all other part. For example, for this one, it has removed the point. On this one, it has removed this other part. Therefore, it has printed 5, 4, and 7. Okay, let's move to the next part. That is for the float. And for the float, it will construct a float number from an integer literal, a float literal, or a string literal, providing a string represent. And it is okay. Let me copy this one to make my work easy. Copy. Okay, let's try to print it the way it is. Okay, try to run. Okay, then we need to change the name. We have a float, and float. Remember, floats should always have, it will always have a point. Then we run. Let me see. So you can see that it has inserted a point. Okay, let's move to the next part, the string. Okay, so we move to our last part of casting, that is the string casting. And for the string casting, it will construct a string from a wide variety of data types, including strings, integer literal, and the float literal. So what you need to change, we need now to change this part because we have copied to str for the string, and then we run our code. So that's the result that you will get. So for the string, it will just print the way it is. It will not omit anything. Okay, having done that, let's move now to the next part. So next we have the Python balloon. And for the balloon, it represents one or two values that is either true or false. So we have only two things. A statement can be true or can be false. Those are the two options that we have. You can evaluate an expression in Python and you will get either of the two answers, that is the true or the false. When you compare two values, the expression is evaluated and the Python will always return the balloon answer that is either true or false. For example, let's try to compare two statements. We have 27 is greater than 30. And let's try to see what we'll get. So we run. So you'll find that the answer is false because, of course, 27 is less than. Okay, let's have another scenario. 27 is greater than 25. Then we run, and you will find that the answer is true because, of course, 27 is greater than. Then you can also have another scenario whereby we can have 30 is equal to 27. Okay, let's try to run and see what we'll get. So you'll find that it will give us a false statement. So the most important part on balloon is that it will only give you two answers, either true or false. Okay, now let's try to evaluate values and variables. So the bool function will allow you now to evaluate any value and give you a true or a false answer. Okay, let's go to the next part, still on the balloon side. Okay, for this one, we have evaluate values. And the variables, for example, we have print, then we have the bool, hello Lana, then So you'll find that it will give true. Okay, still on that one. I need now you note the different. So we have bill, then we leave it empty. Okay, you will note that when you leave the value, when it's empty, you can see that it will return true when the argument x is true or false otherwise. The inbuilt true or the false are the only two instances of the class bool, and the class bool is a subclass of the class int and cannot be subclassed. So still on that, you will find that almost any value is evaluated to true. Any value, it will always evaluate. For example, for this one, it will always give you. For this one, it will give you true if it has some sort of content. Content is the most important part. Whatever the type of content it has, it always gives you the answer true. Any string is true except an empty string. Then another point is that any number is true except 0. Any list, sample, set, dictionary are always true except when empty. So you will find that if it is empty, it will always give you the answer false. So that's the most important part for when it comes down to the balloon evaluation. I hope that you have noted that. But you will find that some values are false. There are some value that evaluate to false except empty value. For example, the number 0 and value 9. Okay, let's try to do it. Okay, so we have a print. Okay, let me see what to. So if you have but like number like 0, 0. Okay, let's try to run and see what we will get. So for the 0, it will always give you false. So actually these are the values that are always false. So number 1, okay, we have the 0, we have open brackets, next we have this one, it will always give you, and that one, this one, and the value false. That we have agreed that all these will always give you a false answer. Okay, let's move to the next part. Still on my balloon. Okay, let's try to come up with a function that returns a balloon. Okay, you can create a function that returns a balloon value that is either false or true. Okay, for example, we have define my function. You define my function. Then so you return you return true. If my function, so you return true if my function prints prints here, else you print otherwise you print no. Okay, let's try to see what we have. There is a mistake somewhere. There is a problem. So there is an expected an intent block after function definition on line 59. Okay, so is it indentation here? I hope we still remember what we had said. We need to have indentation. Okay. Okay. Hope you have noted. So you are supposed to create a space after the first line that you create. Otherwise, it will always give you that error mistake. So we have now been able to write a function that gives amp-alone answer. So you have you define. Okay, let's try to change. For example, okay, let me copy this one. We paste it here. Okay, what if we have false? Okay, let's see what we'll have. So define my function, return false if my function print here. Else you print no. Okay, let me try to run. So you can see that it has printed no, since we have commented our function to print no if the function print yeah. Okay, so that is the last part on balloon. And this is the end of our today's lesson. If you have any question or you need any clarification on the Python, don't forget to comment on the comment section. I will go through all the question that I will get and try to, on my level best, to answer each and every question. Don't also forget to like and also to click the notification bell so that whenever I create a new video, you are able to get it the video as the first person. Thank you. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.